Okay, I don't have background today. Hi, Jahnavi. Who else is there? Ryan and Sadhu, thank you for joining in. Even Govinda. Moksha. I would like to see all kids' videos. It's good to see each other, right? Is it not?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Param.
Mataji, today was my first day of school.
Oh, how was it, Param?
It was good, Mataji.
It was good. Okay, I'm so happy that you enjoyed.
It was also my first day of school.
Who is that?
Moksha.
Oh, Moksha's first day of school. Wow, very nice. So you met your friends after a long time?
My first day was on August 16th.
Okay, August 16th was your first day of school. Okay, even Brinda's.
August 16th.
Yeah, even Brinda's school was the same day. Most of the Texas kids started on that day. But I heard Houston started a little more late. Anyway. Okay, who will start singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra?
Mataji, me.
Okay, sing.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Bol.
Hare Hare.
Thank you. Mataji, over to you, Mataji. We were just singing Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, Moksha, Param, Hare Bol, sing after a long time. Hare Krishna Balavrinda, Isha, Jahnavi, Rai Prahlad, very nice to see you on call. Khushi, Ryan and Sadhu, Subhadra Giridhari. Ryan, you have a new friend with you? Hare Bol, Ryan. Krishna Nena, Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Mataji, Sadhu is his brother.
Sadhu is his brother? Okay.
A 2-year-old Mataji Sadhu.
Sadhu's 2-year-old. Right now
Okay,
we're eating.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Hare Krishna Khushi. Then we have. Okay. So we've started our classes from last week. Everybody's enjoying?
Yes, Mataji.
What are we doing? I forgot.
I don't know, Mataji, because I wasn't there like before.
Okay, so is this
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
very good. Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. Very nice. So what do you feel when you're learning with the Srimad Bhagavatam? Do you feel that, yes, we become big boys and girls? Yes?
Yes.
And so what do you feel when you're doing Srimad Bhagavatam? What is the first thought which comes to your mind?
It comes like it's a great scripture and it's really good that we're learning.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, Moksha? Okay, after learning, when we do the Srimad Bhagavatam verses over here, or when we start reading it, do you feel that, yes, I should open the Srimad Bhagavatam and read it?
Yes.
How many of you really do it? Or should we do it? When we finish the class, you should feel that, yes, whatever we have read today, can we open the Srimad Bhagavatam, that specific canto, and just try to read? Because see, sometimes what happens is, because if it is a chapter which is total theory, then we're doing an overview, right? Otherwise, we go verse by verse, isn't it? Right? So then just make it a habit, like if you can, then read the verses which are there. Okay. Now for today's chapter, what we have done is, what we'll do is we'll quickly move to the class. Okay. Okay, we'll start with our prayers. Everyone together and synchronized. Okay, we're not going to rush through it. We'll wait for others to finish and then slowly we'll say the prayers. Everyone together. I want everyone to unmute yourself. Om Agya. ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते प्रभुपादाय प्रकाश वितरीय च प्रचरं भगवद्गीता। Okay. So
Mataji, I gave you host, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, no worries. Thank you so much. Hari Bol. Okay, we have Hare Krishna Samskriti. Okay, what we'll do is Moksha. Moksha, I want you to read the translation over here. Can you see the translation?
Yes.
Yeah, can you read the translation for me, please?
I was born in the darkness, ignorance, and my soul master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Obeisances unto him. Yeah, the next.
I offer my respectful obeisances obeisances unto his divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet.
Good. The next one.
Our respectful obeisances are on
Obeisances. Moksha, it's paying obeisance. That means paying your pranams. Obeisances. It's not D. It's obeisances. S, right?
Okay. Obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati
Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with
impersonalism
and
voidism. Yeah, continue.
I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasari, and all the other in the line of devotional.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much, Moksha. Okay. So why do I tell you to read it? Because when we are saying the verb prayers, we know the prayer, so we just go on saying it, right? But we should know what the meaning of the prayer is. That's the reason we also say the translations over here. Okay. So now, as we know, we have started with Canto 3 and chapter 28 now. Okay. And in chapter 28, we have in last Thursday's class, Mataji started with Kapil Dev's instructions, Lord Kapil Dev's instructions on devotional service, right? So then, Lord Kapil Dev, he is instructing his mother, Devahuti, on the devotional service. Okay, like how to. We have seen the birth of Kapil Muni. We have seen Kartava Muni and Devahuti mother's marriage, and then Kapil Muni was born, and now see the son is Kapil Dev is no other than a incarnation of the Lord. So now he is telling his mother how to perform devotional service and how to get rid of this karma and then move on to the spiritual world. Okay, so what we are going to do today is, I want you all, I just want we can start reading this part so that we are in sync with what we are doing. So I'll tell each person one at a time. Okay, now Isha is there. Isha, can you read the first part over here? Is this readable for you all, or wait, 1 second. Let me just increase the font for. Yes, Moksha. No, sorry. Who? Isha.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear mother, O daughter of the king, now I shall explain to you the system of yoga, the object of which is to concern the mind. By practicing this system, one can become joyfully and progressively advanced towards the path of the absolute truth. One should
Very good.
execute his
Go ahead. Go
one
ahead,
should
Isha.
execute his prescribed duties to the best of his ability and avoid performing duties not allotted to him. One should be satisfied with much gain as he achieves by the grace of the Lord, and one should worship the lotus feet of the Supreme Master.
Spiritual master. Okay.
Spiritual Master.
So, yeah. So this is the instruction which is being given by Kapil Muni to his mother, and he starts it in this chapter. He starts with the instructions, right? That by practicing the system, one can become joyful and progressive. Okay, now one more thing which I want you all to do over here is, see, when we are in this class, in the Monday class, normally we also start reading with the reading from Back to Godhead also, right? So when you are reading it, now this is for each and every one, when you're reading it, always remember to look at the punctuations which are over here. Okay, when there's a comma, when this mark is there over here, that means you pause for a little while. Okay, and then when there's a full stop, when there's a period, you wait for a couple of, a few seconds. Like, I'll just read it out, because these marks, these punctuations which are there, these are very important for you, because when you're reading it, only then it makes a sense. If you read it without the punctuation marks, the meaning of the sentence might change drastically. See, my dear mother, O daughter of the king. Okay, we're taking a very slight pause. Now I shall explain to you the system of yoga, the object of which is to concentrate the mind. You're taking a pause. By practicing this system, one can become joyful and progressively advance towards the path of absolute truth. Then a period. Okay, if you do not pay attention to these periods, then you will fall short of breath when you're reading. You might not understand, because when you're reading this, you also have to comprehend it. Now, what does comprehend means? You should be able to understand what that paragraph means, right? Like, one should execute his prescribed duties to the best of his ability and avoid performing duties not allotted to him. One should be satisfied with as much as gain as he achieves by the grace of the Lord, and one should worship the lotus feet of a spiritual master. So wherever there's a comma, I want you all to pay attention to these punctuations, okay? Next is Janvi. Can you read the third one? Janvi, are you there? Haribol, Janvi, can you hear me? You have to unmute yourself. Oh, I think there's a glitch in her system. Okay, Samskriti.
Yes, Mataji?
Yeah, can you read this?
Sure. One should cease performing conventional religious practices and should be attracted to those which lead to salvation. One should always eat very frugally and should always remain secluded so that he can achieve the highest perfection of life. One should practice nonviolence and truthfulness, should avoid thieving and be satisfied with processing as much as he needs for his maintenance. He should abstain from the sex life, perform austerity, be clean, study the Vedas, and worship the supreme form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very good. So Mataji had explained this. So what is it? There's an example given in the verse. How like when there's an example about when suppose on in a street, if somebody keeps a whole a whole sack of grains, okay, maybe it's rice, maybe it's any grains, if it is kept, what happens is, if you observe it, a bird comes and a bird will pick up only one or two grains, or maybe just one grain, how much ever it can just pick it up in its beak, okay, and it will fly away. It will not be greedy to just collect everything in its feathers, because it cannot, right? It will just take as much as needed and it will fly away. Well, a human being, what it is saying is, when such a thing is kept, what will they do? They'll make bags and they will get sacks and they will fill it up it is overloading until it has been wasted, and they will carry everything and they will just run away from there. So human tendency is, like in the material world, what we tend to do is we try to collect more and more and more. So, and over here, what is written? That according to the Vedas, one should only have as much as food or as much as things which are needed to sustain yourself. You should not be greedy enough to just go on accumulating those things. So this is all which has been explained. So this explanation of the Vedas, or explanation of how a person can remain in devotional life by Kapil Muni to his mother, is very, very important. Okay. Ajanavi, are you back? Can you read this last one? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. One must observe silence, acquire steadiness, and practicing different yogis postures. Controlling breathing, avoid air, withdraw the senses from the sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart.
Okay, so these are the steps how a person can move ahead when he is into yogic practices. Okay, who else is there over here? Param?
Yes, Mataji.
Can you read this?
Okay, Mataji. Fixing vital air and the mind in one of the 6 circles of the vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called samadhi or snadhana of the mind. By these processes, or any other true process, one must control the contaminated, unbridled mind, which is attracted by material enjoyment, and thus fix himself in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Very good. Rai Prahlad? Is Rai Prahlad there?
Mataji, I'm here.
Yeah. Can you read this, Rappler?
Yes. After controlling one's mind in sitting postures, one should spread a seat in a secluded and sanctified place. Sit there in an easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice breath control.
Very
Breath
good.
control. Thank you, Mataji.
Right, Paul. How many of you ever try when you're sitting for your chanting? Can we try to do this? Everyone? See, whatever we are reading, if we are going to apply it a little by little, only then it makes sense, right? What you should do it when you are chanting, just see to it that you are sitting in a proper place, holding your legs. Maybe you take up an asana. Asana is what? A seat. And then you sit properly, erect, right? Properly upright position. You're not sleeping. You're not about, do not sit on your bed. Sit in a place where you have your altar. Okay, spread a small sheet down, sit down, a easy posture. You do not have to be like Hiranyakashipu, like in any of the different postures where you are giving trouble to yourself. Just sit down properly and then start chanting and see how, like if you can at least complete one round in a proper place, sitting down in a neat and clean place. Okay, try doing that and then we'll see what happens. Okay, then we have Krishna Nena.
The yogi should not clear the passage of vital
Should clear the
areas.
passage. You read a knot into it. The yogi should clear.
Oh, the yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, he should inhale very deeply. Then hold the breath in, and finally exhale. Or reversing the process. The yogi can first exhale, then hold the breath outside, and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. The yogi who practices such breathing exercises are very soon freed from all mental disturbances, just as gold, when put into fire and fanned with air, becomes free from all impurities. Thank you, Mata Hare Krishna.
Very good. Now see this gold metal, again the analogy of gold is given. See, gold is always like it's very precious, right? Many of you all know, right? Gold is precious. Now this gold is known for its levels of its purity. In some, in some shops, the gold price may be different. In some other shops, the gold price may be different. So that depends upon the purity of the gold. And to make the gold more pure, what it is done is it is heated. So just imagine a pure substance, a pure, a pure precious thing like gold. If it also needs to be heated and melted, what about human beings? Just like to make us more pure, we go through so many hardships in life, right? There are so many karmas in our life which we are trying to eradicate, which we are trying to eliminate. And this is same as like how a gold has been heated so that it becomes more pure. Same way in our lives, when you get so many problems, when there are so many disturbances, you should always remember that maybe they are there to just get us rid of all the karmas. Okay. Now, just as this gold is put into fire and then it is fanned up, and so that the impurities which are there into it can be eliminated from it. So same way, a yogi also should do the breathing exercises to purify himself. Now, what we'll do is we'll do a small practice over here, okay? Everybody with me? If you all can come on, I'm just going to stop the sharing over here for a few seconds. Can everybody come on video if possible? And what I want you all to, those who are eating, do not worry about it. Those who are eating, you can keep eating, no worries. Okay. But what you can do is, okay, you have these, your fingers, okay. See, the middle finger will be down and this way. Your thumb should be on your left nostril and your other two fingers on the last two fingers on the right nostril, okay, on your right side, because we're doing this with the left hand. Okay, we're doing with this left hand. Okay.
My mom told me this was called pranayama or something.
Yeah, pranayam. We were doing the pranayam and we're doing the anulom vilom. Okay. Anulom Vilom is the breathing exercise. Whenever you are studying, whenever you sit to study or whenever you sit to chanting, at least practice 3 rounds of this or 5 if you can, so that you become more composed. Now, what we have to do is, okay, first we'll see what we do. See, these are we have 2 nostrils, right? So when you're doing this pranayam, the Anulom Vilom, what you need to do is you have to breathe in and breathe out, right? You have to breathe in deeply and then breathe out. Now, when you're doing this, there is a small Anulom Vilom. You breathe in. When you breathe in for 1 or 2 seconds, to start with 1 or 2 seconds, let the air be in your system. I breathe in through my left nostril, and when I am releasing the air, I am going to release it through the other nostril. Okay. So I'll do it and then I'll show you. See, now I'm breathing through my left nostril. Hold it. Close my left nostril. And release the air through the right nostril. Okay. And then the other way around. And when you're doing it, these 2 fingers will be closing this. These 2 fingers will be through this. At least if you do this 5 every time, every hour also, if you do this 5 times, you will every time. See, when you're doing something, you always get distracted, right? By doing this pranayam, that's the Anulom Vilom, you become more focused and you get to be more composed, or your, wherever you are getting drifted away, you tend to come back to your own position again. So try doing that. And the more you do, it's more better for your health as well. So if at all you do not remember to do it, just remember, okay, every hour, at least 5 times you have to take a deep breath, let the air penetrate into your whole system, and then you have to release the air out. Okay? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get back to our class. Yeah. Kushi, are you there? Okay, Krishna has read. Ryan? Are you there, Ryan? I think everybody's having your dinner time, huh? It's a dinner time for you all.
Yes, Mataji.
It's Ryan? Ryan, do you want to read the last one or you want to repeat after me?
I'll read it. By practicing the process of the pranayama, one can
Eradicate
it from the domination of his concentration,
physiological
psychological condition, and by concentrating in the mind of one can become free from all sinful activities by a restraining and since one and can free himself and material from material association and the material by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one can become free from all the free mode of the material and
attachment. Thank you so much. Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to do this practice every day. Whenever you start with your studies, just at least forget about the hand, which you can do or not do. But I want you to take deep breaths, at least 5 times. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, everybody, can we do? Forget about the hand movements. Just I want you all to take in a deep breath and then leave it. Everyone. Okay, so Ryan, are you there? Where did Ryan go? I think Ryan, yeah, Ryan is there. Yeah, so, and when you're reading, when you're reading, Ryan, I want you to cool down, sit at one place. Okay? And if when your mother or when your teacher is correcting you any word, I want you to be eyes and ears on that word. We should not be in a hurry to read it. Okay? If your mom is there next to you, now did you say thank you to your mom when she was helping you with the pronunciations? Right? You should always be thankful to your mom. You shouldn't be just taking them for granted. And when she's telling you some word, you have to stop yourself. You have to listen carefully with what pronunciation she is making. Contamination. Can you repeat after me?
Yeah.
Contamination. Ryan.
Contamination.
Contamination. Pranayama. Pranayama. Very good. Okay, so like this, when you're reading, see to it that you are listening to each and every word if you have problem in pronunciation. Okay, you read it very well. I'm so happy. What's your age, Ryan? How old?
8. I'm 7.5. My birthday is next month, 27, September 27.
Very good. Very nice. You read very nice for your age. Thank you so much, Ryan. Okay, so now we are on the 3.28.12. Moksha, can we read it? Be quick when you're reading it. Are you all there or are you all sleepy? Sleepy heads?
We're here, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay, Jahnavi, can you read this?
Yes, Mataji. When my mind is perfectly purified by this practice of yoga, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose with half closed eyes to see the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, so again, next practice, first we did about the pranayam. The second, this chapter is a little bit about practically how you can do it. Okay, see, when the mind is perfectly purified by the practice of the yoga, that's after pranayam, when you cool down your mind and when you know that, yes, I have to sit down and do something, then what's the next step that Kapil Muni explains is, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose. Now, everybody, can you look at the tip of your nose? I want everybody on video, if at all possible. Thank you, Isha, for being on video. Jahnavi, Samskriti, thank you so much. Krishna, Nena, Moksha. See, what you can do is now, when you try to look at your nose and you feel that, oh, you're a little bit squinting, you might feel, right? Try to look at the tip of your nose with half closed eyes. That means when you're closing your eyes, and then just try to look at the tip of your nose. With your half closed eyes only, then you can see the tip of your nose. Can you do that? Half closed eyes means when you close your eyes, you don't need to close your eyes with your hand. You just half close your eyes, just as if, you know, how when you're peeking, when somebody tells you, okay, close your eyes, do not see, and you still peek. Right? So with those peeking eyes, if you look at your tip of your nose, and then when you slowly start concentrating on that one point, maybe that way, if you are starting with your chanting also, and slowly you never know when you close your eyes and start chanting. But this is just the initial step of getting your mind into one place where you are starting to concentrate. This is just to concentrate on one object. Otherwise, when you have your open eyes, you're seeing everywhere. Oh, this is mesh over here. Oh, this is there's a spider web over there. Oh, there are clothes over there. So your mind will be wandering off. So you have to concentrate and bring your mind to one position at one point alone. Now, what is mentioned in these chapters over here is 3.17, right? Okay. Let me see over here. Yeah, 1 second. Now, when you're concentrating on this one point, then what happens is that you are trying to, with whatever devotional service you're doing. Now, in this chapters, when Kapil Muni is explaining his mother, he is explaining about the Lord. Okay, so he says once you get your mind concentrated on one spot, and then you see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, as you see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what does Kapil Muni explain is that, what does Kapil Muni explain is that look at the form of the Lord. And then he starts explaining the beauty of the Lord. In the next, maybe till the Thursday class, the classes are going to be very beautiful, where the form of the Lord has been explained. Okay. Now the form of the Lord is like the Mahavishnu, the Shravdakshaya Vishnu, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, which are the three Purusha forms of the Lord. Okay. Do we all know about the Mahavishnu, the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? We have heard about them, have
Yes.
we? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now over here, there's a small explanation which is given with respect to analogies in the modern world. Okay. So Krishna is the Adi Purusha. That's the source of everything. He has no origin and end. He creates and governs all creations. Just like now, see how examples are given over here. Like the Indian president. Okay, now because we're in India over here, so the Indian president is given. Or you can just explain it with terms of whichever country you're in. Like the president forms a government through the Prime Minister of India and state governments through the governors. That means there is a main president. Below the president, there's a prime minister. Below the prime minister, there are the state governments which are there. And from the state governments, they are the governors. How, like you have the main person that's the president. And then there is the prime minister who is going to report to the president. Then there are ministers who are going to report to the prime minister. And there are the small MLAs and the other people around, the other leaders who will be reporting to the government. So just like that, Krishna is the main over here, as we call the president. Like that, Krishna is the main president. And then he is taking charge of everything, and all the others are working under his supervision. All the others, like somebody is given a department of education, somebody is given the department of wealth, somebody is given the department of road and services. So, and all these are going to report to the main Lord. So this we have to understand in detail. Krishna does not directly involve in the into the governance of creating similar to the president. Like the president, you will not see the president coming and having a check at the road. Oh, is the road in Charlotte okay? Is the road in North Carolina okay? No. There are different counties. The county is represented by a representative, and then there is a governor, then there is a minister. The minister has to report to the prime minister, and then the prime minister to the president, right? So the same way, there are different levels in which there are smaller divisions. So Krishna does not directly, the Lord does not directly have to involve into each and every small businesses over here. And the same example is given over here. Now with Indian government, it is given like the Indian president governs the country through the prime minister. Then chief ministers, MPs, that is the all the ministers who are there, then the IPS officers, the IAS officers, they all are the expanded versions. Like they all are the part of the system, but then each one of us working into a different sector. Just like that, these are all the limbs of the government. Like that, all the other devatas, the demigods, they are all the limbs of the Lord, and they are helping the Lord so that the whole system works in a proper way. Okay. Now over here again, we can see that is the Mahavishnu who is lying. And there are, see, all these holes which we see, all the bubbles which we see, these are the multiple universes. We are not the only universe in the whole. We are not the only world over here. There are so many universes. And in this all universes, they emanate, they come to existence from the breathing of the Lord. Okay. See, Mahavishnu creates all material universe and he lies in this causal ocean on the bed of Anantashesha. What's coming up on Wednesday? Which festival is coming up on Wednesday? Yes,
Balaram
Isha? Yes, in Sanskrit. Yes. Balaram Purnima, right? Balaram Jayanti, the advent of the Lord Balaram. So now Lord Balaram is also, who is Lord Balaram? Is the Anantashesha, that is he is the expansion of the Lord. And he is the one who tries to check that the Lord has no difficulties, that the Lord Krishna is like everything is being done, like he sets up everything for the Lord's advent. And he sets up everything. That's the reason before Janmashtami is Balram Purnima. Lord Balram comes beforehand so that everything is all set right for the Lord's advent. When you go to the temple, when you go to the temple, it is that the temple is the expansion of the Lord. The temple premises, the kitchen, everything which belongs in the temple is nothing but Lord Balaram. So if you want to serve Lord Balaram, okay, he is the one who is going to give you devotional service. He is the one through which you can please Lord Krishna. So when you go to the temple and you feel, oh, I want to do some devotional service on Balram Jayanti, you do not always need to go on the altar and do things. You do not always need to be on the top to do things. If you go and clean the temple, if you go and help the pujari room, if you go and broom, if you go and just mop the kitchen or mop the pujari room, that is also as equivalent as serving the Lord. Because when you're cleaning the temple, that means you are helping Lord Balaram, because the temple expansion is nothing but Lord Balaram. Okay. So set this mood when you are getting ready for Balaram Purnima. See, the Prime Minister works for the entire India, whereas the Chief Ministers, they work for their individual state. Just like that, Mahavishnu is the main creation. And then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, they are working as individuals so as to please the Lord. See over here. In Mahavishnu, and then each and every universe also has the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and then each and the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and each and every heart. When we say that the Lord stays in each and everyone's heart, we say that, right? Simply speaking, Krishna is residing within our hearts through Shirodakshaya Vishnu. That means there is Mahavishnu, okay? Then there is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu who enters into every universe. Once the universes are made, Lord does not just leave that universe, but he enters into this universe as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now, once the universe is made, that means in the universe, there are so many people living, so many entities living. So then the Lord enters into each and every person's heart as Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And that is the reason when you say that the Lord is present in each and every person, you have to always remember this. See, Krishna is the source of all, like the president of the country. Then Mahavishnu is the control of all the universe, that the prime minister, he is the controller. He is there present in many places to look at things because he's the controller. Then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is like the chief ministers which are present in every state. And the Shirodakshaya Vishnu is like present or the small MPs or all the small people who look into each and every and in each and every county who are looking into those are like the Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So this flowchart, if you remember, it becomes very easy to understand the role of the Lord in our lives. See, now when you look at this, as Kapil Muni explains to Mother Devahuti, he explains how the Lord's form is over here. See, the Supreme Personality of God has a cheerful lotus-like countenance with ruby eyes. He's standing on a lotus. And the color of the Lord, see, he bears a conch, a disc, a mace in his hand. What is there in his hand is very important. A conch, that is a shankha, A pushpa, that's the lotus flower. A mace, that's a gada is there in his hand. Okay. And then the color of the Lord. Now, as you go on, the explanation of the Lord is given that the color of the Lord is like the, anybody knows what's the color of the Lord? Yes, Isha?
Blue.
Dark cloud.
Blue.
Blue, yes, blue. Yeah, blue. And to be more specific, it is like the cloud which is about to, pour. When it starts raining or before it starts raining, the clouds, when they are formed, the clouds with the rains into it, when they are formed, the clouds, they become dark, right? They're not totally black and they are not pale blue. There's a middle color which is there, and that's the color of the Lord. Okay, that's explained in the future, in the further verses. And then the Kapil Muni explains, because now he is trying to concentrate his mother's attention on the form of the Lord. Okay, so now he's explaining the beauty of the Lord. The Lord is covered with shining yellow color. Okay, Pitambar, always we say that the Lord is wearing a Pitambar. Pitambar is yellow colored garment. Then he has this Srivasta. Can you see this photo? He has this Srivasta mark on his chest. That is the eternal abode of Mother Lakshmi, that she is living in the heart of the Lord. So this is the Srivatsa mark. And if you see over here, the Kanthamani, that means on the neck of the Lord, there's a Kaustubh Mani. The Kaustubh Mani is very dear to the Lord. So it is worn by the Lord in his neck. So these are all the Lord. When you are meditating on the Lord, if you can see the Lord in this form, see, he wears a yellow garment. He has a garland of flowers. The garland is so very fragrant that there are bees around the Lord, because there are flowers around him. There are hummingbirds, and then the necklace garland around him, a crown, and his bracelets, his arm around his arms also he has armlets, and then the anklets which are there in his foot. So once we started with the pranayam, then we looked at the tip of the nose to concentrate our attention. Then when you close your eyes and then you imagine this form of the Lord, that you have the Lord, he has the Kaustubh Mani, just close your eyes and think about it. He has a Kaustubh Mani in his neck. He has a fragrant garland around his neck. Then his arms has nice bracelets. Around his arms, there are armlets around his upper arm. Then he has the big garland, big necklace, and then he also has a nice anklet around his foot. When you just imagine about this form of the Lord and then start chanting or then start meditating on the Lord, you will feel, you will feel a form of the Lord getting in front of you, having a flute in his hand with bees around him. There's a peacock next to him. Then there are deers, and then there is Dhenu, that's the cow, the Surabhi cow around him. And then when you start chanting, you will start, you will never know. At one point, it might happen that if you get immersed into that chanting, at one point you start crying when you see the form of the Lord. Just try to do that if at all possible, when you know that, yes, I have some time and I'm going to sit down or get up specifically for this, and then do this chanting. And when you feel that, oh, how am I going to chant? Because there are so many thoughts coming up. If you start doing this practice, okay, I'm seeing the form of the Lord. Now there is a Kaustubh Mani, there is a garland, and slowly a form of the Lord. And you know what will happen? Whichever temple is near to you, you will start seeing that deity. Or maybe a specific photo of the Lord. Now, this specific photo of the Lord, which I have put up over here, this photo of the Lord is, I just love this, because there's everything in this photo. So just try to have one form of the Lord which you can concentrate on. Okay. So this is the explanation of the Lord, that the Lord is eternally beautiful and he is ever youthful, and he is eagerly waiting for you to concentrate your attention on him. Anybody feels the form of the Lord? You can see the form of the Lord when you just felt that. When you do that, your thoughts, other thoughts which are coming, they will just go away. Just try doing that, practicing that form of the Lord. Okay. So today we just saw that how you can concentrate on your attention on the Lord. The next chapters will be about the explanation of the form of the Lord and how the Brahma Samhita also explains the form of the Lord. Okay. If you can listen to the Brahma Samhita also, and if you can read it, that would be much more better. Okay. Everybody is getting it. These are small processes in your devotional service. So each and every process is going to be very, very important for you all. Janvi, I can just see your forehead. I cannot see you. Okay, I think it's 7:10 and majority of them went to have their dinner, I guess. So we'll end the call over here and tomorrow we'll have another call, and Wednesday, I guess everybody is celebrating Balram Purnima on Wednesday. So then you'll have a holiday on Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll again have our class. Okay. So shall we end the call? Vancha kalpatarupescha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. All the kids ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. I'll end the call, okay?